Hey everybody, Wolfie here. Another day, another sap boil. Been There we go. Been working hard on that all day. Alex is working hard. He's on his solar charger. But Jeanette and I realized not too long ago that I haven't done my review video for my chainsaw. Still running pretty good, even after, like, it's been 14 months, so I'm a little late with my 1 year review, which, well, that's all on me. But it's been running great. So we did have one issue to do with the spark plug, technically the plug wire. So we'll go over that and how to fix that quick and easy. And we'll cover any other stuff for it. So I'll flip the camera around here and we'll go over to where the saw is, and because, well, don't want it over here near the sap for obvious reasons. Get that crap in there. Makes it for some horrible syrup. Well, there she is. As you can see, still looks pretty, but runs amazing. And part of that has to do with the modification I made to the spark plug wire, and mainly the cap, not the wire. We'll pop her open here and I can show you the change that I've made to it. It handles everything, no problem, especially with that having the 20-inch bar on it. There we go. Cover on. We'll pop this air filter off. Now, we're going to start right off the bat with the change I made to the plug cap. I had to go to... Ooh, she don't want to let go. That's a good thing. Very good thing. I had to go to Canadian Tire and buy a plug cap for it. A few weeks ago, I was cutting, and I went down down over the hill over here behind the shed, trimmed up some stuff to use for evaporator wood in the separator, and it started fine, ran fine. I came up, fueled it all up and everything, got it ready to go to head back to the trail to do a bunch of cutting, and from that point it wouldn't start. There was just no spark whatsoever. First thing went through my mind is, great, cheap crap, coil went. Well, before messing with the coil and trying to figure out where to find a coil for a offshore built chainsaw, I decided I was going to try the plug cap. And what I did is I got one from the small engine section at Canadian Tire, where they have all the weed whip parts and all that stuff. And I took, okay, the problem that exists in it when you buy it, there's no connection between the plug wire and the top of your plug. It's pressure fit into the cap and expected to just sit there, no problem. So you definitely want to solve that problem as soon as possible. And to do that, like I said, I went and bought the plug cap. The end that goes in here crimps around your plug wire and has the steel band that goes over the end of the plug. And inside the part where it crimps around your wire, to make sure you get a good connection, it has a little blade in there. So when you crimp that down onto the plug wire, that blade cuts into the wire and you get a guaranteed very heavy duty connection. And then of course your little ring that goes over the end of the plug, and you've got it made. And it's started and ran perfect. It actually starts even easier than it did before. So Oops. Having one of them days, I guess. Now, the other issue, I like the fact that the air filter locks in there, by the way. It's got that little lip in there that holds it nice and solid. This piece can be a pain in the butt to put back on, especially one-handed, but and you gotta make sure you get your little screwy down thing latched on. I've noticed almost all the saws are going with this type of lockdown for the air filter cover. Make sure everything, there we go. Now I shall tighten down. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to cover is I highly recommend replacing the chains. The stock chain isn't bad. It does the job once you sharpen it. 'Cause mine, I don't know about anyone else that's bought one already, but the chain was not sharp. It had a slight edge to it. And well, that easily remedied with your file that comes with the saw. And I think it came with the saw. I'm not sure, it might have, but anyway, you can easily sharpen it up and it works great. But what I recommend is changing the chain out to one of the Oregon chains. I'll dig out the number, like the Oregon part number, or chain number, model number, whatever you want to refer to it as. And make sure it's in the description of the video. But yeah, otherwise, this thing has ran absolutely perfect for over a year now. And, well, it's not shy about the size of logs it cuts. It has no issues with the big stuff. Like we've got this beast here. That's a big log. And when I cut that stuff up, that saw just tore right through it. Especially with the good sharp chain. Getting a good stockpile here, which is good because the wood sheds are getting empty. But yeah, the saw's been great. For a budget saw, like a cheapie, I highly recommend it, honestly. Some of us can't afford the $600-700 saws, and for something like a Still or a Husqvarna that would match this thing for size, and especially with the toys that came with it, like the extra bar, like two size bars and chains, so on and so forth, extra plug, the nice hard shell case. It's definitely worth the money. I paid, I think it was around 250 bucks. It was on sale, would have been about 300, but as opposed to paying $500, $600, $700 for one of the big names, I don't see the point. Not with how well this thing is done. So, like, you gotta put a bit of time into it. With things like that plug cap, that cost me like 18 bucks after tax for that new plug cap. But worth it, definitely worth it. And yeah, like I said, I actually highly recommend these saws, for like these Forest King saws, for if you're on a budget and can't afford them heavy duty things. It's not like we're going out and running a logging business or working in forestry, right? Or cutting firewood. So it's done amazing. Now other issues with it is I've got to find a little nut for the piece here for on the muffler. I have no clue when that loosened off. It's just I was using it one day, and when I set it down idling, I heard the rattle, and it's like, wow, damn. So yeah, that's a very minor issue. I just got to figure out what size nut I need for on there. Now, another issue is with the case. Not the case itself, but the really cheap sleeve that they put on for bar and chain protector. I'll see if I can get it to show up here. You can see where, there we go, where it's split open. Taking it on and off. That's from it catching the edge of the teeth on the chain. And that's a pretty good split in that. So may want to get a more heavy duty chain and bar protector. Something along them lines, but a thicker material. Just taking a quick check on my sap pan here. It looks like it needs some added to it, and the fire is going to need to be topped up. So I guess that's my hint that my video is almost over. But yeah, chain and bar protector. Keep an eye on that spark arrestor on the muffler with the nuts on it. And yeah, definitely get the better quality chain. Like I said, I'll try and get the part number for it and have it in the description of the video. And definitely make the change to that plug cap. That's a no-brainer right there, because you don't want to be depending on your saw and then have to deal with that BS from it. So but yeah, I guess that's about it. It does go awesome. Cut a bunch of separator wood up for me today. It's got all this to do and lots and lots more. So we did, oh, let's see, we did about 4 cords of wood last year, and this saw did it all. So everything from dropping trees, butchering all the fell down stuff from them windstorms, and cutting it all into blocks. It obviously didn't split them, but it did everything up to that point. So, and without any issues. Sharpen your chain every couple tanks, or if you happen to clip something. If you're using it for brushing stuff out, which I would recommend using the shorter bar if you're going to do that, the 16. Sharpen your sharpen your chain after every, I'd say every tank of gas for sure. But after you're done using it, sharpen it again, or make sure you do it before you use your saw again. I do not recommend doing brush work with, like brushing stuff out with a saw, a chainsaw, especially a good heavy powered one. Just for the record. But people do. Okay, yeah, everything works great on it. Chain brake's still good and solid. Throttle, choke, everything that you can see inside, pull starter, all that stuff is all still in perfect condition after a year of moderate use. Definitely ain't heavy use, but it's up there. And Alex hates it. He runs and hides in bed every time he sees me get the saw out. And hell, I moved it from over by that log up to here for me to be able to do this video, and he ran and hid inside the cabin. So as you can see, he's back out now. But yeah, that's my review on this thing. Like I said, I definitely recommend it for anyone not in the, I'd say not in the logging type businesses. Definitely not the saw for that. although it'd probably hold its own for quite a while. It can handle several hours of use, with the only stop, like breaks, being to refill it and touch up the chain. It's a good saw, especially for the money. When it's half the price of a big name saw and you're on a budget, I'd recommend this thing. Okay, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Hope my videos on this saw have helped people either decide on it or just give them an idea. But yeah, it's a decent saw. I like it. I'm happy I got it. And would I trade it for a bigger one? Like a bigger brand name saw? Maybe. But, well, then you gotta pay the repair bill on that saw. This one's a lot cheaper to fix. Actually, just take care of your saw and you don't gotta worry so much about that. Although, crap happens. Okay, so yeah, that's my review on this saw after over a years of use. Like I said, fairly moderate use, like 4 cords last year, plus what it's done so far this spring, which isn't a whole lot, but about half a cord so far this year, so including cutting stuff up for the evaporator. Got to power that saporator, boil down the sap. And speaking of which, I better get back to that. So that's it for this video. Everyone have a great day, and we'll talk to you all soon.